Hello there, everyone. This is Soul Super 17 here, and let me for as usual. I do not own anything from My Hero Academia or Seven Deadly Sins. I do not own any of the characters' names, um, characters, merchandise, nothing. I do not even own this picture. And this is a non-paid video, so yeah. Last recap is Deku defeated Stain, and well, Ida went to the hospital. Deku also told him how stupid he was, and that Deku got credit, and they're gonna have an interview, but he's only gonna take half of the credit in their interview in this part. So yeah, um, we're gonna be going to Inko Midoriya while she's in the jail. So we're gonna get that out of the way. So this is What If Deku Was Trained by Bond Part 10. Alright. Okay, so like I said, Inko Midoriya is in jail. She is right across to see a TV in the security guard's room. There is no security guard, but the TV is loud. She's basically seeing it, and basically she's reading an upcoming hero from UA High School, along with the pro hero Azoro Man. I took down the hero killer Stain. The pro hero Azoro Man told his intern Undead Bon to capture Stain if needed, if ever met. So, and needed to be. So, tell us, Bond, why you say you don't want to take all the credit? He goes like, well, you said it yourself. Azaro Man told me to do what I did. If I see the hero killer, and if necessary, or if possible, capture him. And he was attacking the pro hero native and another intern from UA. I am not going to reveal his name at this moment, but he was badly injured. They could not move because of Stan's quirk. It involved some type of paralysis that they couldn't move. So it probably involved something to do with them. And I saw some like a cut mark on the student from UA, so I think it has to do something with someone's blood. So it also must have been a time limit too on it. And she's very impressed by it and asks, "Are you certain that's his quirk involves around blood and the paralysis?" That dude just says, "Well, I'm not 100% sure, since he never did get a chance to cut me. But if it does involve anything to do with blood, then that could be why most of the heroes were killed, because he was able to stab or cut them enough to actually shed some blood on, and then he was able to then use their blood to paralyze them, so he could kill them way more easier." And she goes, "That would make some sense." He goes, "Yes, yes, it would." And then they basically saying that was the word from the upcoming hero from UA High School, Bond, and so they even asked him what was his reason for wanting to become a hero. He basically says to help people out. Doesn't matter how much the life is in danger, he will help them, and also know to prove a point to someone else that they were wrong about him from the very beginning. And that just gets Inko mad. Well, she heard that she's saying the ungrateful brat, how dare he have no cord and all of a sudden gain power? He should be helping her with that power, and giving her what she wants and being used by him, and he should be choosing her over his new family and all that. And just like she's going on. While she's doing that, she notices the wall starts to disintegrate, and she says, "What the heck?" Like she's like shocked and a little bit scared. And after 5 to 10 minutes of it being like decaying and turned to dust, she sees Shigaraki. He goes, "Ah, hello there, Miss Midoriya. My name is Shigaraki. I am here to offer you a proposal." And she goes like, What is it?" He says, "It's simple, really. To get rid of your brat. So that way my plans can come to fruition." And she was like, "What do you want my son, my Izuku?" And he goes, "Oh, simple enough. Just for him to step out of the limelight so I can basically get what I need done by killing All Might." And she's a little bit shocked by this. She goes, "Why do you need me anyways?" He goes, "Well, you struck fear into his heart, and by doing so, he wasn't able to do nothing but run." That's why. So she asked him, "How can I help you out? Really?" He says, "Oh, easy. We'll provide you with anything you need." So right away she says, "I need some quirks that I was thinking about that could be able to help me out." He goes, "Name it and we shall help you get them or give you them." And so basically she just lists off Dreamstorm, teleportation, regeneration, enhancement that increases the strength of the quirk and the body, and dimensional storage that can hold in weapons, objects, food, water, and medical supplies, but no vehicles. He says, "Alright, we can help you with that. So do we have a deal?" And she says, "Yes, we have a deal." He goes, "Oh, alright then, follow me." Oh, by the way, if you're wondering if there was a guard, I think I never said there was a guard in the room, so there was like no guard, and he just came back, and he just says Inko and Shigaraki leaving. He says freeze, and it was already too late. They went inside the portal, and basically he goes to a phone and calls up the police station, and he calls up Nezu. He gives them what he just saw and everything else, and basically there's gonna be a wide range search for her. So yeah, but it's like very farther away from the jail. Kurogiri is like when Shigaraki was searching for, he goes, "Welcome, young master." He sees this woman. He goes, "Who is she?" Shigaraki says, "This is Inko Midoriya. She's a new associate of ours. She's gonna help us to get rid of that Bond kid out of our hair, basically." And there's like some video cameras being like has audio, and it's like going to like all for one. So he basically goes on the monitor screen and he says, Gary, do you mind coming in here so we can have a little chat about something?" And this is like right after he gave her a drink and everything else. And so he then says goodbye to Inko and Shigaraki. When he gets into the room with All For One, he says he's disobeyed me. He does not learn. To Shigaraki, he was like, his obsession with getting rid of Bond is annoying, I know, but like you said, we need to mold him. If you just give him some time, he could learn to not see him as just basically a piece that's gonna get him his way, but it could be also an easy ally. And All For One said, "Yes, but I have a feeling that woman's gonna be more of a problem than what Shigaraki thinks." And so he asks what was her name, and he says Inko Midoriya. That's what he said. And he goes, "Go to the computer and look up information on her." "Well, can you please do that, Kurogiri?" And he says, "Certainly, master." So he walks over to the laptop, basically, And he brings it over to where Awful One can see it. And he looks up Inka Midoriya. They like hacked into like the security system, the police. Mother Inka Midoriya. I mean, not mother. Inka Midoriya, mother of Izuku Midoriya. Izuku Midoriya was abused by her ever since he was 4. He left for a full year. He was hurt by her physically, mentally, and neglecting, and also starving. And they just list like as soon as Kurogiri seen this, he just says, "No good mother." And All For One goes like, "What?" And Kurogiri says, "I believe this is Bond's mother." And so he basically just All For One just says, "That fool, Shigaraki is a fool for bringing her here." So he takes a deep breath and then take a deep breath out and just says, "Okay, so what are we gonna do about this now?" As he's processing this information, he says, "We need to know more. Kurogiri, can you please go visit Bon and ask him to come here?" As Kurogiri is shocked by this, he goes, "What? Why?" He was like, "I just say I'm a friend of yours. I don't say my name. Will you please just make a fake name?" As Kurogiri says, "Yes, master." So when Kurogiri leaves, All For One says to himself, "If that is really his mother, then we have a lot to work on." So when Kira gets to Izuku, well, he already looked up where Izuku lived, like just so that way, if he ever need to, he can always get in contact with him by writing a letter, or just warping there. So he gets there, and when he finds out Bon is Deku is still away. He goes like, "Bon," and Deku looks. He says, "Ah, hey, Kurogiri, what's up?" And then he says, "Wait, how did you?" He goes, well, first off, hacked into the security system of police and found out where you lived." He was like, "Oh, okay. What you need me for?" He was like, "My friend would like to see you." He goes, "Okay, what's the name of your friend?" He was like, "Matthew." "Okay." Like, he says, "You're not lying to me," and just, no, he just wants to ask you a question, that's all. I talked about you a lot with him, so he wants to know who you are. Just to meet you and just ask you a simple question. I mean, I told him I met you and Bon, and, well, I said no good mother. He's interested in that, if you don't mind. He was like, Deku's thinking to himself, why should I come with him? He goes, Kiryu says, please, can you not ask any questions, just come with me. And Deku can already tell that Kiryu means it. So he was like, alright, just for a couple minutes. I was about to go to bed. He was like, alright, and what were you? He goes, oh, plants were in 4-section staff. Want to try to learn how to use one. So, yeah. I've been working on these for a while. I kind of want to get it before my final exam so I can use it right. Also, I haven't been using this one move for a while, so I need to get testing dummies to work on it. He goes, what is it called? What's the name of the move? He goes, Fox Hunt. It allows me to take off a certain body part of a person, like a heart. But I can only use it on non-human enemies. Doing it on human enemies would cause me to basically become a murderer. So easy to do that. I don't want to be that way, but you know, it'll be a very pain in the butt then afterwards. Kurogiri chuckles a little, goes, yes, yes, it would for you. As he opens up a portal to where All for One is, he goes, please, follow me. As he goes into the portal, he then sees All for One, and Deku already got the picture. He goes like, okay, Kurogiri, young master, this guy must be master. I'll go along with it. He was like, so, you're Matthew. He was like, yes, I am. I just have a couple of questions for you, Bon. If you don't mind. Personal ones, he says. It's like, sure, no problem. What do you need me to answer? He was like, first off, I want to know, were you that boy that disappeared for 3 years? He was like, yep. His name was Izuku. And then, like, that, he looks and he goes, like, he says, okay. He's thinking, well, all one's thinking, okay, Izuku. Alright, one clue, that's his mother, but I want to make sure. He goes, like, so why did you leave? He was like, no good mother. She's in jail now. Hopefully she stays there and rots. But you never know. Her telekinesis quirk is pretty weak, but it's useful. As this, did get his attention. He goes, what do you mean? He basically tells her quirk can basically get small objects and move them over to her. So basically, if a guard's not looking, she can get the keys. And he's just laughing about it, but you had to be pretty stupid enough to do that. Keep the keys on you at all times. And All for One does chuckle a little bit. He goes, yes, that is true. So then he asks, what did your mother do to you? And then he basically lists everything the report said, but even in more greater detail. I'm not going to go into detail because I don't want to, but let's just say there's some things that no one can know about if they did not really look at Midoriya in a hospital. So yeah, and then this pissed off All for One. This is kind of reminding him of his brother. And note, I'm changing the whole entire reason All for One became a villain and everything else. I'm changing it, and I'm gonna be saying it near the fight where it's gonna happen, where I'm gonna make everyone realize how strong Deku really is. Well, a second fight to realize the world will realize how strong Deku is, not his class though. So he goes, and then Deku just asked him, "Is that all you want?" He was like, "What would happen if she suddenly put you through that all again?" And Deku just looks at him and goes, "I probably beat the living crap out of her, even put her in jail myself, or worse, do what I never want to do." And he says, "Eliminate her permanently?" He was like, "Yep. Don't care. Some monsters just don't deserve to exist in this world." As then All for One says, okay, for a kid, he went through a lot of pain and suffering. So this is to be expected. He has this cold attitude when it comes to someone like her. Because that's all I want to know, young Bon. Please excuse me for my interruptions of your night. I just wanted to confirm something. He's like, it's no problem. Also, you're the boss of Kurogiri and Shigaraki, are you? And then he just looks at him and he goes like, what gave it away? He goes like, the suit, the chair, and I bet your name is All for One, really. No. He wouldn't know that. He wouldn't know the name yet. So he just says, I bet you're just like some mafia boss or something, or like a villain gang. But hey, I'm not gonna report this since, well, I don't know where the heck we are. I'm just gonna say is, to my teacher, Courier came over, met his boss, and then that's it. just answered a few questions, and then I'm just gonna tell him what you asked me, and that's it. He goes like, "Thank you, no problem. Anyways, thank you, Gary. Talk to you. Like seriously, like come over sometime. I mean, if I explain who you are to my new family, they may welcome you in, like as a friend. You know, any friend of mine is a friend of theirs. Sort of way." He goes like, "I wouldn't mind that," he says. So he opens the portal, says, "Good night, Bond. See ya." So he goes through the portal. He gets in his bed. He falls asleep. And then all for one saying, "We are gonna make sure we teach her a lesson." As Curie says, "Really?" He was like, "Yes. We're gonna show her to never mess with someone that's quirkless." As if Curie says to him, he goes, "If I see your eyes right now, Well, I can see your eyes right now. They probably have a blaze of rage right now in them." Like, "You have no idea, Kurogiri." So let's go to the next day, where Deku, Kasumi, and Misery are walking into the school, and they hear all these freaking like rumors about Deku, like saying, "Oh, he thinks he's so brave. He thinks he's like, you know, so good, better than everyone else." Like some girls in the school, like in every other school, like they're saying like, "Does he have a girlfriend?" Like, maybe I should ask him out, and all that and stuff. I mean not Kiryu. Deku gets to the classroom, class 1A, excuse me, and basically everyone like surrounds him, saying like he went on to like face the hero killer, like that's so cool. Was he strong? Like, how did you react to him? Like, just like asking all these questions. He goes like, "First off, I was normal. I didn't freak out. I wasn't scared." And basically, he was strong but also weak. So yeah, and everyone really laid out on Ida. Um, Ida like goes up to Deku and says, "Thank you for the help, and I'm sorry I was being an idiot before." He was like, "No problem. Also, by the way, what's the room number of your brother and what floor?" He says, "Well, fourth floor, 425." He goes, "All right." He goes, "Why?" He goes, just wondering, just just wondering." So Aizawa comes in, tells everyone about like a basically they're gonna see what they learned on their internships in the afternoon. So just be prepared. And also he would like Bond to come with him to Principal Nezu's office, and he says, "And no, you're not in trouble." So he goes like, "All right." So when he exits the room, there's Shinso. He basically says to Bond, to Deku, he says, "Bond," and he says, then Deku says, "Shinso, what do you want?" He vows to Deku, saying, "I am so sorry for what I said yesterday about your mother. I heard what happened from your classmates. They said they didn't tell me everything." And then he says, "Oh, well, I didn't tell them much. I just told them about who she was and who I was." He was like, "Your real name?" He goes, "Yeah." "Did they tell you?" He goes like, "No, no one knows it. It's alright if you want to tell me whenever you can. It's just, I'm sorry for what I said. I didn't know." And he just, and then Deku just asks, "Is that what you want to say?" He goes, "Yeah. Have a good day, Bond." He says, "Alright. See you around, Shinso. And hey, if you ever want to spar to, like, help train your body, just, come over to Class 1A and we'll make basically a time and a place to train." He nods his head and says, "Thanks." So while he's walking, let's go over to Class 1B real quick. And people are just pissed off at Bond. Like, he took down Hero Killer. He was already at number 1 on the sports festival.
He said he was gonna win, and he won. It's just, ooh, they think he's on his high horse, and really he is not. And one of us just starts smash talking to the point where the girl that can make her hand big just freaking smacks him, and everyone just sighs and just says, "When will he ever learn?" So yeah, so everyone, Deku, as always, gets to Principal Nezu's office. He says, seriously, you're not in trouble. And also, congratulations on the hero killer. Just don't let it go to your head." And he was like, "Let what go to my head?" I was like, nothing. And as I was on the set, thinking to myself, I was like, is this kid really not, like, overreacting? Like, he took down the hero killer. So, yeah. When he enters a room with Aizawa, he sees Nezu and All Might. Nezu tells him to sit down, and he says, "Has Aizawa already told you you're not in trouble?" I was like, "Yeah, he told me. Um, it's just simple. Your hero, well, your exam on seeing how much you learned from your hero. I know you chose to go to a Zoro Man, and I already know about his quirk. Every single punch he takes, he absorbs the impact of it, and like it's reduced by half though. He takes half of the energy from the punch and uses it toward his energy. So we would just like to ask you if you would like to do like everyone else plus an extra one, or just do the other exam and then forget what everyone else is doing." And then Bond just asked, well, Deku just asked, saying, is it gonna like calculate how strong I am? So like I'm gonna get like some bracelets or something that can calculate how much I put into a fist, and they would calculate the force of it and see on a 3D scanner how much of it would I be able to destroy, like the city or like a part of the country or something like that. Which kind of surprised Nezu. He was like, no, we were just basically gonna have you just go against a couple of robots, or just have you go against somebody like All Might real quick, just to see if you're able to steal stuff without what with punches and everything else, and see what else you learned. He was like, "Oh, that's it." He goes, "Yeah, I read it." And then he says, "Well, I mean, you always try my idea, but hey, whatever." But, jeez, it's not even that time yet. But he just says, "All right, I'll do whatever you guys want." So Deku, was about to get up, and then All Might says, "Young Bon, may I be able to ask you a question?" He was like, "Yeah, sure. Um, do you mind if I ask about? You said you can heal from anything. Could you also like transfer your blood to someone to heal them?" And he was like, "Yeah, I can. My teacher could do it, so why not me?" And he debuffs, and Deku is about to just like about to get his fist right, and he's about to lunge and attack, and Nezu and everyone, and Nezu, All Might, and Aizawa says, it's him. Like All Might saying, it's me, it's me. He goes like, and he was like, "Okay, swing yourself," and then he talks about All for One, what happened, and everything else, and he goes like, "Did he wear a suit and a tie?" And because you punch him in the face, like you said, you punch him, like where was it in the face? He says, and if he's alive, he probably should have like a scar on his face. He goes, "Yeah, why?" He was like, "I think I met him." He goes, "Why?" He goes like, "Because he asked about my mother," and then and Nezu says, "What questions?" He goes like, "Was her name Inko Midoriya? What did she do to me? If she ever did the same stuff she did to me again, what would I do to her?" I basically told her I'd beat the living crap out of her and do what a hero shouldn't be doing. And he says, "Eliminate her." And I said, "Yeah, no monster like her deserves to live." And Nezu says he understands and he can't really judge him for it. And that's all he asked. He goes, "Yeah, nothing else." He didn't ask me if I wanted like any quirk or nothing. So Nezu then informs him your mother escaped from prison with Shigaraki, and so now he knows. he was asking about his mother because she probably was already there. But he says it probably wasn't in the same room. It was probably somewhere else. It looked like just a medical wing for him. Excuse me. And then All Might says, "Thank you. You don't know where it is exactly." He goes, "Nope. Just teleportation from Kurogiri, and that's it." Even though they know it, they're not gonna go in Kurogiri's butt right away. And so they say, "All right." Deku says, "You have a cup or like plastic container or something, like anything that can be able to hold like a liquid." And he says, "All right." He cuts his hand. He doesn't start squeezing it. Blood starts to drip into a plastic cup, and then like it filled a little bit. He felt he like keeps on squeezing and squeezing and squeezing until it's sealed. And it's like halfway full. He just says, "Drink this," and it's gonna taste a little bit gross, but you get used to the taste after a while. So All Might drinks it. He's like disgusted at first, but then he drinks more and more and more and more, and he's back to full buff form. Wounds healed and everything else, and he's like gonna listen. No, I should really start training. And then yeah, and then like he also then Deku says also maybe you should stop using punches and use like kicks too, so get like a fighting style, so that way you can't be easily like taken down. Which Omar says, "How did I never think of that?" And he's like, "Yeah, I don't know how." And he says, "All right, see you guys." And he says, "All right, bye, All Might, Nezu, and Aizawa." And when he leaves, he walks away, like to the classroom, but really he then just stops and then sneaks over and he hears this, and he says, "Do you, I can't believe Bond saw him and he didn't like try to kill him or like try to take whatever he has." And it says, "Remember, it ain't a quirk." Aizawa said that, and All Might says yes. It's hard to believe that a villain like him would let Bond live, but his mother, why would she like be there? What's the reasoning? And everything else, like nobody knows. But I want to bring Kurogiri to bring a letter from All for One on the reasoning why. So, but I don't think that'll be a good idea. So yeah, I'm not. So they do everything else until the afternoon, and it's a race. Deku versus like same people in canon. It was like, all right, say 3, 2, go. Everyone just starts running, and Deku is just thinking, and like people are like halfway through, he just says, all right. He just starts running. He's like running so fast, it's like they can't believe he was already like dead last to like he's almost halfway. So when he jumps farther than like what people can like. He jumps farther than most people to the point where he can actually use Snatch on All Might to bring himself to him. So that's what he does, and then he says, "First one here." He goes, "Yes, Bond, you are the first one. What are you gonna do now?" Like he says, "And just sleep and wait." So that's what Bond does. He sleeps and waits till they get there, and then yeah, he wakes up. He was like, "Oh, everyone's here, good." And it says first place winner is Bond. And the next people. So they, do that. They then have Bond and everyone else do a little bit more like fighting people that are part of the classes, and they have all class 1B fight Bond. Well, I mean they fight Deku, and Deku's thinking to himself, okay, like I want to give him percentages now to actually show off his true strength. He's 2 times stronger than All Might in this because of his training. So, and plus also I think Bond is just stronger than All Might, basically, because of what he can do with Meliodas, which is playing around and destroying a freaking castle that's also a prison. Even breaking the ground. underneath them, like the whole time out just crumbling. Imagine that when when they get serious and just it's a lot more destructive when they fight. So I would say Bond can probably break the city, half of the city from Seven Deadly Sins, maybe in third season. I don't know. I haven't seen it. Third or fourth season they have. But yeah, but this is like Bond like during the first season. Like he's gone strong to the point where he's almost at the second season strength. So yeah. And so he has them face all class 1B. He also has like wristbands and he says but he also has like percentage. So how like he puts on percent mode and then he's like using he just says, all right, 15% strength and speed should be good. So he then like when they say begin, all of a sudden he just like starts running. He starts fighting people. Like he's punching, he's kicking, he's using snatch to bring them over to him and slam him to the ground. He's actually using Hunter's Fest. I mean, not yeah, Hunter's Fest. And he's stealing people's energy and strength, and he like punches the ground, breaking it, having everyone fly in the air, and then just jumping up, kicking, throwing people into each other, and basically, he kicks all their butts in from Class 1B. He brings back their energy, they get back up, and they like try to fight him again. And he just throwing punches and kicks, dodging like Hunter's cloak, and just disappearing, then reappearing, and punching them, kicking them. Like he's just even throwing them into each other, grabbing them by their throat, chucking them into a couple of people. Yeah, he just annihilated all of them. And that was only at like 15%. And All Might and saying like he went a little bit overboard on that. He was like, what it takes me like to face that many people, it would take me like 5 or 2%, but um but for right now it would take me like that would be in my prime, but for right now it would probably take me at least 16 or 14. Nazu is pretty intrigued by this. But he looks at the percentage. It was at 15, but then it went down to 10, then down to 5, and then down to 2. And he's like, and Deku's just saying, wow, these guys are really weak. Oh well. So after that is all done, as I always says, I'm pretty impressed with all you guys. But in 2 weeks, we're gonna have your final exam, so you guys gotta study for it. Which everyone is shot. He says I'd rather tell you guys ahead of time so you can get your grades up if needed. So yeah. So, the people go to Momo and Canon, still go to Momo, ask for help and all that. And Mineta has already been like studying, so he's been focused on schoolwork too. So he's been studying. He has actually gotten pretty good grades in middle school, and he's been because he hasn't been focusing on like girls and all that. So he's just been like studying a lot more. And so with Deku, Midnight, and Katsuki, they're gonna study together. So while they're studying, like they also like give each other like answer each other like questions on what category and topic on the after they read something, and they just go back over chapters that they already did. And so it's like getting like pretty late during this one night, like 4 days before the exam. And so like Katsuki went to bed early, and it's just him and Midnight in the house. He's cooking, and Midnight's just asking him, so, can you tell me, everything about you? Izuku? And then he says, please, just call me Bon. I don't go by that name no more. He goes, sorry, it's just shocking that you're that boy that disappeared. You don't, what we saw in the picture, you don't look nothing like that. He was like, you can thank my teacher. I keep on dyeing my hair every like couple like years to the point where it just starts staying this way. was like, really? He goes, yeah, I found someone with a quirk to keep my hair like this, so it worked out for me. She goes, that's nice. So, can you tell me what happened between? It was all right. I didn't. Everyone just kept on like asking me about that. I didn't want to tell them. I didn't go into that much detail. I just told them the story. Everyone was upset, but I guess since she's not around right now, I can go more greater detail. So he starts telling her, like he told everyone else, how it started, what happened, how much abuse it happened, like every single day, or some days but it happened every single day. So but he tells her what she did to him, which shocked her, which really almost broke her down in tears. And then he says, so after that, I left. Then I met my teacher, and so much happened. She said, and then like she wiped away the tears that are about to form, and she just said, "That's good. That's good." And she says, "You can cry. It's all right." But I am kind of over it. It's just remember it sucks, and so she starts crying, and he was like making her something, so he finishes making it, and then like brings over to her, takes off the apron, walks over to her, basically like she was in a chair that could turn, so he turns her and just hugs her. She just crying. After like 10 minutes of crying, she stops and says, "You good?" And she nods her head and says, "All right. Oh, eat what I made you before it gets cold." She smiles and then she just starts eating it. She says, "Thank you," and all that. He goes, "Yeah," and then she then asks a personal question like, "Do you like Katsuki?" And his face is a little bit red. He was like, "Well, I mean, I know she has a crush on me and all that. I mean, it's kind of obvious. She's always worried about me, even though I'm kind of since I'm already immortal. I can't die, you know." He goes, "Yeah, I mean," then he just says, "It's like you too." That's how she started out with the blush and Karen. How every time she sees me with Mark, she always worries. And then her face goes right. He goes, "What? What do you mean I?" He was like, "Come on, you're back into a teenager. Of course it's gonna happen again." And she's like even red, and she goes, "Well, just remember, who knows when you're gonna get back to being adult. So just be careful. You may still keep those feelings when you're in your adulthood," which makes her even redder. And he goes, sorry. I know I shouldn't be teasing." And she goes, "No, it's all right. I pried into your past, and you didn't like you wanted to say it. So let's just say we're even." He goes, "All right." And then, but she asks, "If you had to choose which one, would you choose?" You know, he goes, "Well, considering I have the tattoo of the sin of greed, who was my teacher, I pretty much act like him. And have you ever noticed I'm a little bit greedy?" And she's like, "Wait, you would?" And he goes, "Night, midnight, or should I say misery?" A little grin on his face, which her face is like in shock. He was like, and she says he would choose both of us. He would choose both of us, and which Katsuki was up, and she did smell him cooking. So right when midnight was eating, she asked that question. She heard, and she really like bolted like to her room after he said he's his teacher was the sin of greed, and he pretty much act like him. So what do you think? And she's in her room going, "Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god!" Like he would choose both of us. What the heck? What the heck? And like his room is like not even near Katsuki's, a little bit near Midnight's, and but it's also near like Mizuki's room. So it's just like he goes there and he goes like he's in his room. He goes like, "Oh boy, what did I get myself into?" Can't believe I said that. And he just starts punching himself in the head. He goes like, "Idiot, idiot, idiot." Okay. Okay. So I said that without thinking. I'm pretty much in trouble. Alright. Well, hopefully Katsuki did not hear it. So, like, 4 days later, we're at the school, and it's the final exams. People have asked what they did on their final exams after they did the written portion, and they say, oh, they just, like, fight robots and all that. Nezu was there, along with some teachers, and says, you're not going to be fighting robots, you're going to be fighting the teachers. And the people who are going to be fighting All Might is Katsuki and Midori, and not Midori, and Bon. And then All Might comes in, and he's saying, yes, and I'm fighting with restraints on. But still, my punches will still hurt like heck. He's like, and Bon just says, good to know, thanks. And Katsuki and Midnight could not ever look him in the eye after what he said, and he already figured out she heard me. So he says, okay, this is gonna be really, really awkward. So I'm gonna end it here because I'm probably gonna work on something else. And also I'm getting a little bit hungry, so before I go to bed, I'm gonna work on the Demon Slayer one. I'm uploading this. So yeah. I hope you guys do enjoy this video. Leave a, do whatever you guys want. Comment, like, subscribe. It's all up to you guys. Alright. I'll have a good night or day. Wherever you watch this. Bye.